Global banks have been pumping money into Indian lenders. 2025 itself saw about 14 to $15 billion of cross-border deals in the BFSI sector, ending the year with the largest of that being MUFG, Japanese lender, buying 20% stake into an Indian NBFC major, Shriram Finance. Joining us today is Mr. Umesh Revankar, Executive Vice Chairman, Shriram Finance. Welcome to ETBFSI.com, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure too.
So beginning with the very first question, out of all the lenders in the ecosystem, what made MUFG choose Shriram Finance? What were the top three non-negotiables?
Now, I understand that Japanese banks have been looking at India very positively for last few years. India being fastest growing large economy, they had their interest in India. They were looking at the right partner. But when I say right partner, what is important is a culture matching, the philosophies, having common philosophies and some ethos being practiced. So these are things they were looking at. And also they wanted to have a retail play in India because they have invested in other countries in Asia, like Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippines and Vietnam. There also they have a retail play through their investment. So in India, they were looking at it, and as the talks progressed, they really felt very comfortable with our business model, the way we are doing business, the way we are reaching last mile, the kind of customer engagement what we have. All those things impressed them, is what I believe. So then, finally, we concluded the deal.
Sure, sir. Onto that, how long was the process in terms of negotiations going on with MUFG, speaking to them and catering to the due diligence of them, finalizing the deal, which we saw it. I mean, we saw the announcement of 19th of December officially.
So discussion have been there for quite a long time. Maybe nearly a year now. We started with beginning of the year and ended before the year end. That itself is quite good, I should say, quite fast because now I understand that they take very long time. It is not that we were new to them. We have them as a banking, what call one of the banker for our other transaction, international transactions, and we have been going to international market for raising resources. And we also have a FII holding of more than nearly 49% of our shareholding is FII. We are reasonably well known in the international market.
Sure, sir. That draws attention to FDI and FII. I'll draw two parallels for you. First is, we see SMBC, we see MUFG, we have seen so many of international lenders coming to India showing interest in the banking space. On the same hand, we have FII and FDI at decadal lows. So how does the two contrast? And I mean, if FDI has been a decadal low, how are international players showing interest in the financial space?
I look at little differently. What I feel is the outflow is mostly the Western countries. The inflow is mostly from the Eastern countries, especially for Japan and all. I think there is a different opportunity for everyone. The capital will flow where the opportunity is. Some of them may feel that there's better opportunity in their own country, so the money is going back from India, especially from the US or Europe for that matter. In the eastern side, I feel that maybe they're feeling there's a very good opportunity in India. India is the fastest growing large economy. So definitely everyone would like to have a play in India because many of the foreign players have shown interest in India when we discussed with them. So I think it's very positive for India.
Sure, sir. I'll talk about the pending regulatory approvals, Reserve Bank of India and Competition Commission of India. When do you see these approvals coming through, and when can we see the deal leading to completion?
I think it should take 2 to 3 months. First, we have to complete our shareholder approval, and we're just in the process of sending notice So 21 days, and once shareholder approval comes, then through EGM, then it has to go to the other approvals. I think it is a matter of 3 to 4 months from now, is what I feel.
Sure, sure, noted. Sir, I'll put some light on the business strategy to Shriram Finance. After the capital infusion, how is the deployment going to look like? What changes to Shriram Finance in terms of the business strategy? Where are you going to be bullish upon? What's new after the capital?
See, I don't really see it will change much for us. Yes, we will have a capital buffer that helps us to plan long term much better. Earlier, we used to plan for a short term, maybe year or two, then go again, redraw your plan. Now, capital buffer is there. I can really plan for a long term. So that really helps. So there's a lot of clarity, better vision, and we can really plan for long term. And we don't have any intention to get into a new play or a new area of lending. We feel that in existing our portfolio, there is enough scope for us to grow our business.
You were focused on retail, commercial vehicle loans, and I mean, we heard you say at the press conference yesterday that banking license is not on the table at the moment. That being said, is banking license not in the vicinity at all, or is it something that you're not planning it at the moment and a few years down the later, maybe you'll be looking at the license once again? Because where do we see the roadmap going ahead for Shriram Finance after witnessing the trust from an international player? Where do we see you going?
See, we have not discussed on banking at all. Even though MFG is a bank, they never, when our discussion never went to a banking model. They're happy we being NBFC and the kind of service we are rendering to our customers. And I don't think we will discuss bank at all, even in the near future, unless there are some events that want us to look at it. Otherwise, we have no plan, no intention, or no discussion on banking. And there is enough scope and opportunity being NBFC to service our customers.
So are you satisfied with how Shriram Finance is going, the kind of reach it has? Because I'm trying to dig more in terms of what levers are you going to touch to, when you say there is enough scope in the segment you're already persistent in, what's the next step there? What new are you going to do? How are you going to go bullish on the existing business strategy?
See, basically, what we have been doing is we have been lending to small business, small operators, and small businesses. So there are many of them are progressing, growing big, and they're moving out of Shira because of lower cost of borrowing. And what we would like to do is we would like to bring down our borrowing cost and offer them better terms. So that is what we have contemplating with this investment coming in. With a stronger balance sheet, my borrowing cost is likely to come down mainly because lenders view us little better as one. And also we expect the credit rating to be upgraded, and that also gives us a scope and opportunity to reduce my cost of funds. With reduced cost of funds, I'll not only be able to retain my customers who may move out of Shriram because of better opportunity. I can also attract the customers with where I can service them with a better offering. So I think overall my ability to service the customer is much better, and also my credit cost will come down when I'm able to choose my customer a little more diligently and also have a better track record customers over the period.
Sure, sir. That brings me to the fact that NBFCs are catering to the lower strata. And I'll talk about branch expansion. When already there are discussions of whether banks can operate fully digitally or not, whether there can be an era of pure digital banks. I'd ask you about how bullish are you going to be on your branch expansion and how important do you see this digital model for Shriram Finance on that matter? How important is it for you to be on the ground with the customers?
For we always believe that we need to have customer connect directly. Even though we have a strong digital play, we have a super app which gives the customer on the touch of the button to get all services. But many of our customers are not comfortable on a digital platform on their own. We need to handhold them and support them. So that is important. That's another thing is the customer connect becomes very important to understand the customer's business and also to understand his cash flows much better than taking a written documents. You can always get a written document, but understanding customer, how is he faring in the business, and also to partner him. See, ultimately we are financial partner when we lend. It is just that remote lending is not going to help the customer. If it is for consumption loan, yes, but when it is a business loan, you need to be a partner with the customer. So we believe that we should have customer reach every time a customer is onboarded. We will be opening more number of branches. We do have another 600 rural centers which may be converted into branch over the next 3 to 4 years. So that means around 150 branch per annum may be added in the next 3 to 4 years every year, and that will create a bigger reach for us.
Sure, sir. Noted. Then I'd also like to talk about the valuation, the lift that it has received for Shriram Finance. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, you are also the second largest NBFC player in the segment. But if I talk about the difference between the largest and the second largest, the difference is huge. Do you aspire to, go beyond go past the largest NBFC player of the country. Uh, what are the ambitions on that front?
So, in the business, it has to be a carefully uh, drawn plan. It cannot be a competition or who is number one. That cannot be. We are not in the sports. We are in a business. And here, what is important is whether my constituency, my customer, whether I'm able to service him properly or not, whether I can grow in that my constituency and have customer every comfort. These are all the important thing in the business. Retaining customer and onboarding new customer is a regular phenomena for a businessman and for business houses. So we are continuing to do that. Definitely, yes, I feel that once the market understands our business model, appreciate the new partner who is coming in, who is internationally reputed, then definitely the way market views us or the other lenders view us will be totally different. So definitely there will be a different angle to look into the business model of Shira.
But no ambitions from you in order to go past that
I,
rank.
we don't play number game and record game here.
Sure, sure, sir. So I'll talk about talent and exchange of culture between the two organizations. In terms of the kind of hiring that might happen at Freedom Finance ahead, uh, what's the exchange going to look like from MUFG, given they will be bringing their expertise in certain segments? Which are those areas where you'd be requiring MUFG support? And how is this combination going to look like at a higher level for you?
We have not discussed in detail all these points, but since they have the presence in Asian countries and they have retail presence, they also have a strong digital play. We will definitely be looking at their business operation, their digital play, understand and try to see how much we can draw from those their learning. We may depute some people into some of their businesses and they may be deputing some people into our businesses. There will be a cross learning out of this and then probably we will implement. So this discussion will start once the money comes in and then we'll prepare, have a task force and task force will decide where to go, where not to do or what to do.
Sure, sure, noted. I'll talk about return on equity. From the current levels, it is bound to go down. That's a natural phenomenon. How down do you think it is going to go to? And are there any expectations from the stakeholder on the levels that you should be achieving in so and so of time? What is the timeline going to look like? Trajectory of the ROE movement.
See, we have created a scenario to see various scenario to see how things will move.
Yes.
The ROE is likely to come down to 13.5 from 15.5 now and start moving up from the third year. Second year it will come down, that is 28. From 29 onwards it will move up, and by 31 it will go back to 15.5. That's how we are looking at. Maybe marginal difference will be there, but as we are able to utilize the capital much better, a return will become much better. So what is going to happen immediately is, because of lower borrowing cost, the margins are going to expand for us, and that is going to help us in expanding our ROA, and the ROA is likely to move up from 2.8 to around 3.5, and once the leveraging comes, four times leveraging, then automatically you can see a better return.
Sure, sure, sir. Noted. I'll also talk about the leadership. MUFG gets to nominate two directors. How does that impact? What's new? What change will it bring to the decision making?
See, directors in the board, they play a role, normally, depending upon what the company requires. So there are various committees. In the committees they participate, and wherever they have some expertise among them, that we will consult them also separately. Apart from presenting in the committee, getting their expertise to help us in certain situations or certain requirements. So these things will be there. I think it's a mostly consultative approach will be there with the directors appointed on the board. And we need to see how we can work in a cohesive manner, because we are also going to have a consultation committee for any kind of a launch of a new product or new services. It will go through that consultative committee, and that is where they are going to be regular, what to call, members in that committee.
Sure, sir. That sums up most of my queries, and I'd like to end with two questions. First, being your vision for Shriram in the next 3 to 5 years. On a longer term, where do you see yourself going?
See, 3 to 4 years is the medium term, and I believe we will grow at around 20% CAGR in interim period. And if the economy is growing at the current rate of growth, I think that will definitely help us to achieve our numbers. So on other ROA and ROE we just discussed, we definitely have an ambition to improve our numbers within 4 to 5 years, to the level of the current level. So capital utilization is fully, and addressed. Then definitely in the long run, what we need to plan is how comfortably we are going to build our the long-term strategy. So long-term strategy is something we need to work together, and I believe it will take some time to start working on it. But medium term, we are very clear where we are going to reach.
Sure, sir. I'll talk about Indian economy at the moment because you second largest NBFC catering to the strata where banks are probably not reaching. Uh, we witnessed quarter two GDP at 8.2%. Inflation has been at its lowest. While rupee has seen its lowest ever, touching in fact 91 against US dollar. How promising do you find the consumption story of India? And I'm asking you this from the very perspective that, the consumption is best sensed by you because, retail loans are one of the best indicators of how the consumption is going. So how promising do you find Indian economy and the consumption story?
The post GST reforms, there were very good feedback in the sense on the sales. Many of the sales numbers improved very much. Credit demand also improved. So we saw October, November very good numbers as far as the business is concerned, and also the demand for the credit is concerned. December is a little slower compared to the October. I think by the year end, things will improve further, is what I believe. Because typically, many of the people who buy the vehicles and all, they take the decision at the towards the end of the month, because discounts are a little higher during the end of the month. So that's one thing I believe. But India is a country where you always see a new purpose. Now, come January, then you have a Pongal and Sankranti, the festive time. Again, it's coming back. So, January, things will bounce back. Now, some inauspicious days they call. Uh, Between 17 to the December end, many people don't buy new things. Then again, it start moving up. So India has that cycles. So cycles within cycles. I think the demand is reasonably good. Especially, I'm very comfortable. The rural demand is very consistent.
Okay.
Normally, rural demand vanishes after certain time, but this time we see rural demand being good and very consistent. So I think that should really help, because rural India has much bigger population, and the consumption going up there and credit demand going up in the rural is a long-term positive.
Thank you so much for patiently answering all the queries. Thank you for watching ETBFSI.com.